Hi there, I am the CRM Ninja, and on today's episode of the Oops Facts, I have the one, the only, Samit Saini. Welcome to the show, Samit.
No, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
It's really my pleasure to have you on. I mean, I've known you now for a couple of years, and I think you've got some really great experiences, and I think people will be interested to hear about it.
No, I hope so. I really hope so.
But we'll see how things go. So, for people who may not have heard of Samit, where have you been? Samit works in the travel industry, which is why I've got a picture behind me, because this isn't just any picture. My head is in the middle of an Airbus A380 in British Airways livery. But Samit works at Heathrow Airport here in the UK. How do you find doing that, Samit?
Oh, for me, I love it. I always said I live literally 5-10 minutes away from Heathrow, so for me, I couldn't think of anywhere else to work like Heathrow. I mean, it's for me, it's a different world. It's a different place. It's a different city. It's a city basically working in the
It is
airport,
a city.
and having a yeah, it is literally it's a city. And to be honest, I probably go in there and I recognize a few people either down my street who work there or anywhere that's local. There's someone that you would know that works in the airport. So it's
So
become a community.
it is. I mean, an airport that size is definitely its own community. So I wanted to ask you, I understand that one of your favorite hobbies is not plane spotting. It is watching. I mean, I know that's probably going to surprise people, but yeah, it's not plane spotting. But it is watching movies. So, can you tell us a bit about what your favorite movies are? If you had to pick like a top two or top three films of all time that you've seen that you would watch again and again.
Oh man, yeah, like you said, yeah, my favorite hobbies are watching movies. That's the only play time I feel like I can switch off. No, if I go to the cinema, no phones, nothing, I can switch off and just focus on the movies. But the top three movies, one that comes to mind is The Martian. That's the film that I can watch over and over again. The guy in island or an island, so in a planet, and he's got to think of new ways to survive, and it's awesome. If you haven't watched The Martian, watch it. It's got Matt
I
Damon in it.
I have watched The Martian.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it because it's got Matt Damon. I watched it because it looked interesting, and then Matt Damon happened to be in there. But yes, ingenuity was definitely a key
Yeah,
factor in that one, I think. Okay.
absolutely. And another two ones. What would I say? I love any Marvel movie, except actually not just any. There's one film that I don't like to watch. It's the Hulk,
Okay.
the first one. I think the first one was which I the only film that I fell asleep in. But other than that, all Marvel movies I've enjoyed and I love. I can watch them over and over again. I watched them in sequence as well from the how you would watch in order
Oh
basically.
wow.
The from the watching Captain America, Captain Marvel. I haven't done the TV shows yet, but once the TV show starts going on, then I'll try and watch it all in order. Yes, that's sad, but for me, I think that's a hobby, and I love watching movies. And
No, that's really great. Obviously a die-hard fan of Marvel movies.
yeah, I would say that all of it. The Vic movies. That one, Keanu Reeves is one of my favorite actors, and two, that it's a fast-paced movie. So if you like action, then I definitely recommend John Wick.
John Wick is good. I do like John Wick as well. It's I can't wait for the next one to come out actually. Should be interesting.
Yeah, and if you like those kind of movies, there's another film coming out next month. If you listen to this in March, February time, 2021, it's called Nobody or Don't Estimate Nobody, and
Okay.
it's going to be amazing.
There
Yeah,
you have it.
so.
Recommendation. Who knows? You could go around spotting movie talent at some point.
Well, working in the airport, you do get to see a lot of movie stars, so
I
that's
was
another
thinking to
bonus
ask
of
you
working.
about that, but I thought I wouldn't because you probably get asked that by lots of people.
No, it's interesting. Seen a lot of celebrities. I don't want to name drop. Seen like the main brothers from White Chicks. Seen Justin Timberlake, and it's like I said, it's really interesting when you see them. It's because they don't want to be. They want to be hidden, but then you see them wearing big flat sunglasses as well when it's like winter to say.
Just something about their
And that's when you kind
sunglasses.
of, yeah, that makes them feel they're invisible. So
Everybody can have one.
yeah.
So, moving from movies and stuff to the oops factor, what do you have to share with us today?
Yeah, go for it.
So, going from movies to the oops factor, what do you have to share with us today?
When it comes to oop factors, okay. So, what would you like me to talk about? What would you say is a oop factor?
Talk about whatever you'd like to. You can talk about share a story where you think something people might learn from the lessons learned that you learn from it.
Okay. So one of them, to be honest, is when I was building my kid's dollhouse, and me before Power Platform, I would just go and build stuff without even reading the instructions. I just thought, okay, this looks easy. There's a picture that it looks like in a box, and I could build it. So
did you happen to go to IKEA frequently by any chance?
No, avoid. No, I'll avoid IKEA, even though it looks so good. But it's still after my kid's dollhouse, I thought, I like things pre-built. But this is a scenario where I felt like, do you know what? It's a good lesson for me as well. And I don't know if someone will learn from this, but I just built it. Try to build it without reading instructions, assuming that this looks easy. I used to love. I love building Legos. I love Legos. That's one of my hobbies,
Legos. Yes.
Yeah, and I love it. I've got a Lego collection, and I've still got time to build them. But talking about the dollhouse, is that I started building it, and then when I took a step back, it looked nothing like the box, and I'm like, took a breather, and you know what I said? I said I'm gonna start it all over again. So I did everything.
When you said it looked nothing like the box, when you said it looked nothing like the box,
yeah,
you mean the outside of it, or you had lots of pieces on the side still?
I had loads of pieces on the side, which not meant to be spares. Yeah, it just looked like a Picasso picture, and so
you could have sold it. You could have sold it for millions.
Yeah, the way it was, I don't. It could have gone like a Picasso picture, and I didn't think about people would buy it, but you know what? It doesn't do justice, definitely for my kids, because they're gonna be using it. So it was a bad project I can think of, and I took a step back, and you know what I did? I just redid the whole thing again, read the instructions, and it took quicker to build by reading the instructions. But what I learned is just breathe. Sometimes you do panic and thinking, oh no, this is not going well, or something. So sometimes it's good to take a step back, reevaluate what you just did, and just say, you know what, let's redo it again. And you learn something new, and you get to see that you never give up. You just so
it's very important. And obviously instructions are there for a reason. And I say that as somebody who doesn't always follow the instructions either, because I like thinking that I know better.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, instructions are there. I'm getting a bit braver. I'm going to IKEA and buying smaller stuff and building little stuff at a time. But yeah, without instructions, you just don't. If you don't, what I've learned is without reading instructions, it might take you twice as long to do. So
that is true.
That's me, and I'm a kind of person. Now using the Power Platform, I do follow instructions, and I learn better. And
so, what do you do when the instructions change?
When the instructions change, I just I try to improvise. If doing change, I try to improvise, so and hope it works out.
Wonderful. Now it's very important, and obviously the instructions are there for a reason, and we should follow them, or things might not happen in the right way. No, that's really good. Thank you for sharing that story.
That's all right. That's why they also the instruction, the guidelines as well, so they help you steer you in the right direction sometimes. So which is really good.
Very good. Now, I do have something else I would like to ask you about, because one of the reasons I do this show is to have people on to share their own experiences, and some people have never spoken before, recorded or live at all. And I know that a couple of years ago, you happened to take an aeroplane all the way over to, I think it was Las Vegas, and spoke at a little show in front of how many, 10 or 15,000 people alongside the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. So what would your tips be for people who are suddenly thrust into speaking, or they have no idea how to approach speaking?
Well, I would say have a couple of shots of Jaeger bombs.
That is a very valid point, but please make sure that it is legal. You are of the legal age of drinking, and wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, so I didn't have that. Obviously, I'd never been to a Microsoft event before. I didn't even know there was one at the time. So being shown for the first time that you're going to be speaking in this amazing big event, because I thought it was going to be about no, I didn't think it was going to be thousands. I thought it was hundreds. So my nerves were really calm at the time. But I'm not well, I've never spoken before, and advise anyone is just that. Again, I think most of my answers come to breathe and just take a step back and just enjoy the moment. I was really nervous that day, and I didn't know what to expect. But when you have someone like yourself who's very down to earth and who, is really like calm speaking, and meeting him beforehand, it helps your nerves. And I think sometimes that helps a lot. When you know that someone that you're speaking to is genuine, nice, and so on. That helps a lot. But the advice I got was, don't worry about anybody else, your surroundings or anything. Just look at the person who's asking the questions and listen to the questions. And that's what happened to me. I was trying to be focused to the question, and I felt like I was in a bubble. I didn't hear no sounds in the background, just waiting for the question to come along. But I don't. That's the advice. If someone gave me advice, I would say, yeah, just enjoy the moment, enjoy in the moment, and don't worry about what people think or what you say, because they don't know what you're gonna say. They don't know. You do, and so I would say just embrace the moment, and because you might not get that moment again. So yeah, just enjoy it and breathe.
Very true.
And yeah. Absolutely.
And I've seen the video recording multiple times. I point people to it, so nobody would have ever known it was your first time speaking.
To me, I haven't. I don't try to listen. I kind of cut it when I'm speaking, because I know how much my heart was beating. I'm so glad that the microphone was near my mouth and not near my chest, because all you would hear is like a fast pump. It would just be like 100 miles per hour. So
certainly get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Well, Samit, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your stories and stuff.
No, thank you for inviting me. So,
as I said at the beginning, a really great pleasure. Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed the show. Feel free to check out the rest of the Oops Factor playlist, subscribe to the channel, check out the blog. And if you would like to come and share your own story, hit the link below, drop your details, and I'll get you on the show. Have a great day.